Now, because we're living in this time of like performative theater, I want to introduce a term called a PSYOP, psychological operation. Now, this is something that I think has become the norm. The citizens of this country seem to be so comfortable with emotional ups and downs. It's like a toxic relationship. But it seems that because we've said these people are lying, but those people are telling the truth, and you don't realize that everybody's lying and everybody's pushing their agenda, right? Now, I don't mean this in a tinfoil hat type of way, but it is verifiable, right? It's documented, it's confirmed, and you have intelligence officials, government officials that have admitted to these psychological operations. Now, if we're going to survive the next decade with our brains intact, we need to start understanding and seeing how to spot them. Now, in the last 10 years alone, we've seen two really big psyops. And I'll also talk about in the last year. Okay. But first, in the last 10 years, we have seen Russia's poll plants. This was during the 2016 election. Now, that wasn't a rumor, that was actually a coordinated operation where fake patriots, fake activists, fake left, fake right accounts, these were all created just to push us into rage and division, right? And it's continued. Now they even organize protests on both sides of the same issue in real life. That's not free speech. That's a psychological operation at tearing a country from the inside. I would even go so far as to say Black Lives Matter or a psyop, especially the origins of Black Lives Matter. Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman was not a police officer. So the whole premise of Black Lives Matter starting because of police brutality against blacks, not that was not the case in the case that actually made this organization blow up. An organization that never focused on black on black or inner city violence, an organization that only raised its head up. Reverend Jesse Jackson and Sharpton, they only lifted their heads up when it was white on black, never the opposite. So in that alone, you know that there is no real moral guidelines. There is no real goal in actually fixing anything. The goal was to divide. The goal was to enrage. The goal was to keep an already small and kind of underserved community almost hurting themselves because now once in those Black Lives Matter riots, did you see them going into DC or going into the governor's mansion in any of the states, not into any of the wealthy neighborhoods? Instead, we burned down the inner cities. We made where we live harder to succeed at and succeed in for in the name of like killing us. That to me was a psyop, especially when you saw ads all over the country, especially in liberal cities, advertising aid and then you get Antifa. How many of those buildings did you see with white Antifa, white skin breaking windows in the names of Black Lives Matter? It bred more hatred. The founders enriched themselves like crazy, and nobody has been arrested. Nobody. Patrice Cullors is still out there with her multiple mansions, and she's still free. And it should tell you that was probably a psychological operation set by our government to continue to keep us divided so they can continue to grift and steal from us. Mind you, we're all still fighting. So, a third psychological operation would be in 2022, social platforms caught and shut down a network of fake accounts linked to the US military. These accounts posed as regular people and independent media were quietly pushing pro US, anti Russia, anti China, anti Iran messaging overseas. That is, by definition, a covert influence campaign. Now, also add to the fact that you have massive campaigns, you have massive what farms, you also have a Hollywood, the CIA influence the way movies are made so that we, American citizens, to being okay with this industrial military. And it is enslaving us to the level of debt that we have at this point. And we will continue to accumulate because this government has no goals in stopping war. They have no goals in curtailing how much these demons can enrich themselves. They will continue to enrich us until either we're all dead or we finally grab them and drag them out. Or, God, please save all of our souls and you show up in a psyop is not just this edgy word on the internet that you're hearing a lot. Unfortunately, the world that we're living in. So if a narrative suddenly appears everywhere at once, every single one of your influencers, you're conservative, I guarantee you're following Jack Posobiec, following, please don't follow loony ass Laura Loomer. If you are following people, you're going to notice they post the same. Now you got to turn to USA and on your Corvette and all of those evil people, right? So you have them all pushing this grift, pushing this, pushing this. People are like, oh my God, everybody's saying the same thing. It must be right. It must be right. It must be right. No, it's a psychological operation. It's the same as COVID and the vaccine. If you didn't get this vaccine, you had the same friends, the same people that were telling you my body, my choice. They would literally tell you don't get a jab, you can't be around us. Psychological operations. They almost make you forget who you are. Watch a quick video here just to break down a little bit more about what a psychological operation is. It's about 3 minutes, so bear.
If you're in the middle of a psychological operation,
I would just assume 24/7. But let's go into the details. But
what are the signs that something is a psychological operation specific?
So narrative sticking points. So matching narrative is number one. A matching narrative means that I'm hearing pretty much the same messaging from media outlets, celebrity influencers, which is number two, and authority. People that are in a position of social authority, not like cops and lawyers, and judges, but people in social authority, like pop singers. And I won't say any names. Pop singers, the most popular pop singers, all saying the same shit on social. That should terrify you to the deepest part of your core, that none of this is real, or none of this is what it seems like. And those are the number three. If you're seeing people silenced or ostracized for disagreeing with an idea, we saw this during the pandemic, like crazy. There were Harvard educated medical doctors that were kicked off of social media, which is our greatest fear of human beings, is being ostracized socially. It's greater than death. This is why public speaking is rated higher by almost everybody than. And it's not public speaking that we're afraid of. It's being out there and having a big idea and then getting rejected by a large crowd. That's what terrifies human beings. And you can leverage the shit out of that, especially when you can manufacture an artificial tribe on social media. So Harvard educated doctors that disagreed with this mainstream narrative were getting.
Remember that if a narrative suddenly appears out of and it's everywhere all at once, and you get the level of authority that these people speak with, they know. Ben Shapiro, he knew that you should get that. He was told to get the. He didn't give a shit about you. He gives a shit about the people that pay him, that keep him in power, that keep him feeling special, even though he's a rat, a weasel, a slimy worm. Actually, no, worms are like great for your soil. They like aerate it and they're phenomenal. So he's not a midget horse. He's a weasel. He's just now I feel bad. Never mind. I feel bad for rats now. I'm so sorry, but I have to call him something. So, anyways, guys, you're not just consuming content. You're not just reading your favorite newspaper. You're not just following your favorite influencer. But find somebody right now that you do not agree with. Find two people that you do not agree with. Go follow them. Okay. Notice the people that you're following and the people that you fundamentally don't agree with, and see how different narratives are when big things happen. We just had Venezuela's kidnapping. Start noticing that. Okay. Start seeing things, because the psyops are very real. Okay. The biggest lie, period, is this whole left versus right. Literally good versus evil. If you do not see that right now, I don't know how else to make it clear. I'm just gonna just keep beating this drum every single week, and I'm gonna pray to God that Americans wake up and that we get our country back. So the fact of the matter is that while we're all here fighting and hating each other and arguing, everything is rotten. Everything is rotten. Every institution, every governing body in the United States is completely corrupt. Keep talking about America first. Like, what does America first look like? America first looks like an outlining of every single industry that we have, every single public service, outlining the rot, outlining the corruption, removing it.